But you know what we do, by the way, before we get into the question at hand, Yabo, we talk other matters. Order. Look, you know, because we pay Salo, yeah, where his boss. I like to see what His Excellency the President is up to on a daily basis. For we are HR.
Okay.
Do you understand?
Yes.
Yeah. And ideally, I've said this before, and Esquire is here. Let's just ask, we see what happens next. Because this is off the cuff. Esquire, because we are taxpayers, is it okay to stop a GK vehicle and say, "Where, give me a lift"? These people are just buying cars. And then it's a GK Circle and we're taxpayers. Is it okay? Would you have to come and bail us out of a cop shop? Or will we end up in a rec unit headquarters?
I suggest you try.
Yes.
Set up residence.
You know, we'll see what happens next.
Yes.
No, but speaking of today and His Excellency President, there were, today's the day, judges of the High Court.
Yes.
Numerous, various of them, many, were sworn into office. And then also we had senior counsels.
Yes.
I didn't know, first of all, they had to be sworn in. I never knew that, by the way. But number one, judges were many. But we were discussing as the news was going on.
Yes.
That now today we had, you'd say, these were High Court judges.
These were High Court judges.
How many High Court judges do we now have?
We now have 78 High Court judges.
Yes.
And we got 20 sworn in.
20 sworn in.
Yeah.
So before there were 58.
There were 58.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then we were asking for more. Well, you people. When you say you people, the fraternity, because obviously backlog of cases 1, 2, 3, 4, and we get, you know what, and justice, you need to dispense it fast, because even in a matter that Esquire is going to dissect today, it took 5 years, right? But the stations, okay, and when we talk about stations, we're talking about actually the brick and mortar, the courts themselves. We have 45 stations in 47 counties for 78 judges. How does that work?
We have 45 High Court stations in Kenya.
Yes.
And how that works is you get to hear High Court cases.
You must.
So basically, they are, we call it pecuniary jurisdiction, which is more of how much the value of a case. So if you have one constitutional case, you can file it in a High Court. Okay. That is one. Okay. That is where you first get heard on a constitutional issue.
So it will not go to magistrate's court. Let's be clear.
Magistrate.
Very good.
If you want to appeal a case from a magistrate's court, you will go to the High Court. If you want to appeal a case from the small claims court, you go to the High Court. If you want to appeal a decision from a tribunal, High Court.
But be aware, don't just get excited, but there's a cost implication, right, Bama?
There's a cost implication, but now again, this goes back to the current conversation that we're having in Kenya on on tax. On the Finance Bill 2024, which allocates funds as per the Constitution. So in the allocation, the previous allocation, we had our judiciary being allocated 18 billion shillings. 18 billion shillings. Yeah, 18 billion shillings, but there's now a suggestion to top up 5 billion shillings. Right. So that they allocate 23 billion shillings. So this basically means that as a judiciary, which is an arm of a government, compared to another arm of a government like executive, which has a CSs, has a president, and then we have a legislature, which has the MPs and Senate and the legislatures.
Unfair question.
Yes.
Because obviously, I know where we're going, because you're saying, I mean, if renovating a house is
700 mic.
No, yeah, my friend.
It was 900.
It was 900 before. That's what was added.
What?
Yeah, that's what was added, and then
so
also
that's almost a B, yeah.
It's I think it's 1.2, 1.3, right? And then even for the prayer warriors, their officers are like about a B each. And when I say each, I'm talking about first lady and she's called second lady.
Second lady.
It's second lady, ne?
Okay, second lady.
Is that what Nani was slapped for?
Yes.
Yeah, second lady it's second lady, right? So let's say about, let's round it up. That's 2B each by one. Yeah? Is that money enough? Do we know how much the legislature?
So the legislature is currently looking at 2.4 trillion That's what is allocated to the executive. Yeah.
2 trillion.
2.4, almost 2.5 trillion Kenya shillings, compared to the judiciary, which is allocated now, if this goes through, 23 billion.
And to be
that
honest,
would be 0.23 trillion. No?
come on, yes.
I'm doing my math right.
Yes, yes. You did that in your Kongos. And this is the thing. And this is actually this administration.
It is administration.
Has actually opened the taps kidogo, because the last administration, the budget was actually
5 billion less.
5 billion less.
Yes.
Wow.
And the previous, it was even worse. Yet,
yes,
this amount of money, for example, if you were to say that it's going to pay the judicial officers.
Yes.
If you look at the judges'
Yes.
salary,
Bas.
if you look at even the contribution that comes from when you pay a fine,
yes,
this is money that we top up,
yes,
and it goes to the common basket that now the KRA collects and the finance ministry collects.
Yes.
If you look at what we are getting versus what we bring to the table,
right,
versus what we are expected to do, because again, how many courtrooms can serve, for example, a county like Nairobi?
Thank you.
Nairobi has a population of almost 5 million Kenyans. We only have one high court at Milimani. So the 5 million people are expected to be served at Milimani.
Right.
Yet the funds allocated, if you look at these numbers, are not enough to say that we are going to now construct maybe 2 or 3 other courtrooms or high courts to accommodate, or even top up the number of judges to serve these 5 million Nairobi residents.
So it's only at Milimani. That's the only court.
It's only at Milimani that we have a high court. The rest of the courts, the magistrates courts, are around 5 of them.
Okay.
5 of them, if you count them, Kadara and Kibera.
Bas. And then let me ask you, Baba. So the Supremes, because that used to be a high court before the Supremes checked in. What happened to the courtrooms?
The courtrooms are in use because, remember, we have the Court of Appeal of Nairobi sits at the Supreme Court.
Okay, sorry. Yes, High Court of Appeal. Oh,
yes, there's a Court of Appeal as well.
Sharp.
Yeah.
Forgot that. Okay. Now, then there's that. And you've said, and look, I mean, that is what I take. So those fines that we pay, those don't go into Commerce basket. They go to KRA.
No, they are collected. They are collected by the judiciary.
Right.
And then the judiciary has to surrender that to.
Are you serious?
Yes.
Yeah.
To the fund.
Twist.
Okay. We don't benefit. We don't take the money and start using it for administration.
Okay.
Yes.
So that was number one, and then number two, I got from this morning. Obviously, mentioned it is now senior counsels. Now, obviously, like we said this before, and he told us to stop saying it because we said he's a future senior counsel. But what is senior counsel based on, Eliud? Is it because Esquire? Is it because Yani you've chapped 30 years, or you made the most noise? Yani you're prominent, Amites, you made the most color. What is it?
Well, according to the Advocates Act, it defines and says that a senior counsel is one who has offered exemplary service to the profession. And when you offer this exemplary service, this might be in as a scholar. So if you're a legal professor, and we have an example of a senior counsel,
yes,
we have senior counsels who are scholars,
yes,
and then we have in your practice areas, so in the courtrooms, when you see those lawyers out there in public interest matters, that's another exemplary issue that may get you that position, right? So, and we had a debate a few years back when some politicians, one of them being a former vice president of this country, got awarded this for the service they had offered. But when you look at it again, they were mediators in a certain country to resolve some disputes. So they deserved it. We had likes of Honorable Martha Karua getting it. Right. And so you need to offer exemplary, and also and also maybe even in your service in the society of the law society. So we have had former presidents of the LSK getting that automatically. And so today we got
Eight.
We got 8 awarded,
yes.
or rather conferred with that honor.
Yes.
And this was after gazettement last year. Sometime last year in August.
Yes.
And so they have been conferred. There were, I believe, 3 former LSK presidents,
right.
or 2 former presidents, 1 woman.
Right. Yeah, exactly. I saw that.
There was only one woman who was awarded.
Yeah.
On the LSK website, they say we have 66 senior counsels.
Yes.
Yes. So when you look at this, Gibson Kamau Couriers,
yes. Fred
Ojambo,
James,
Professor Ojenda,
yes.
Governor James Orengo.
Yes.
So they have been given those and one of the things they get to do is, when it comes to court hearings, if I'm in court with a senior counsel, they are given preference. So, for example, if the list of the cases listed in a day in a courtroom has, let's say, 50 cases, and the senior counsel's case is number 40, the judge has to give them some preference and hear their cases first.
That's what I was going to ask. What are the benefits with the title?
So that is one of the benefits that you get to use.
Right.
And then you're required to also now mentor other people. Yeah. So the likes of Kina Grand Mula.
Exactly.
Yes,
there we go.
Counsel.
There we go. Now, obviously, last week we had Linturi, and obviously there was counsel representing there.
Yeah.
And you saw how people got to grips. Look, are you just saying, yeah, you are watching?
No, there's a story I'm hoping you're getting to.
Yes. Now, can you be too young to be a lawyer?
Can one be too young to be a lawyer?
Yes. For example, if, you look like you're a genius, but can you be called to the bar at 18?
It will not be possible because of the time spent in school.
What if that guy went to Campo at 14?
Well, you will need, after finishing your campus, getting your bachelor's, you need to go to Kenya School of Law and again go for pupillage, and after pupillage then
I love it.
Yeah, you'll be called to the bar.
Safi. So 20. Is that good?
20, no. The age you expect one to start practicing, majority of the people get admitted to the bar at the age of, the youngest advocates are around 26 years.
I love it.
Or 25 or 27.
So we know that there's a certain nani. I lose 18, 19, 21, 20. It's a no. It's not possible.
Yes.
Can you be too old to be a lawyer?
You cannot be too old to practice the law.
Aha. Because we are assuming that you will always be corpus mentis. Huh?
No, we are not. We're not assuming that. You see, as you age, you get better. You get refined. You get the wisdom. And if you listened to, I know you are referring to Doctor, to Doctor himself, Dr. Haminwa. He has practiced law for the longest. I think for over 60 years.
Yes.
He's practiced the law. He's been able to sit in some of these tribunals.
Yes.
One of them he mentioned was Goldenberg Tribunal.
Yes.
He was one of the counsels.
Yes.
And he's currently in his late 80s.
Late 80s, yes.
Yes. And he
87.
was very coherent.
Sana.
Very... he was able to make that argument.
Which is true. And I was actually very impressed.
Yeah.
But what I'm wondering is that now there might be a 92-year-old say that if this nigga can do it, even me, I can go and do my damn thing. Is there a point where you're like, Apana, this license, we're not renewing this year?
No, there's no limitation. And so if you're 60 or 70 and you want to go to law school and study law, get your degree, go and sit for the bar, become an advocate, the Chief Justice is not limited to admit you and to swear you in to become an advocate.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's not too late, Baba.
I knew you were going to say that one. So you know what? Okay, I love that. So you know what? So we've touched on legal matters and points that have made headlines for us this week. You're never too old, Locke. Now you know. And also now you know what it takes to be a senior counsel. Magistrates Court, High Courts. 78 judges now.
78 judges.
45 stations.
Only 45 high court stations.
And imagine only 8.5 billion for remember it's the judiciary, executive and the legislature.
Only 23 billion
vis-a-vis 2.3 trillion
in a population of almost 50 million Kenyans.
And you say justice is blind.
Spice.